Oh boy. First video on YouTube, trying to take some cinematic footage with the drone, and I crashed her. It's a good start. It's a real good start. Let's try that one again. Hey, good morning. It's Dustin with Family Tree Investing, and I'm standing outside one of my duplexes right now, and I wanted to come here and film this video because we just wrapped up 2019, and I want to tell you all how much this duplex cash flowed in 2019. Sorry for the mittens here. They are work gloves and they are pretty nasty. But in any case, I own this duplex. It's 2 units. 1 and 2, and between my wife and I, we manage this place, and we've had it for about 1.5 years, and so really 2019 was our first full year of owning this duplex, and I wanted to give you guys real life numbers on how much it cash flowed, how much money it made. So let's get into it. The way we do this is we first take all of the rent that we brought in. This includes all the rent checks. It also includes all of the fees that the tenants paid, things like fees for having a pet. It could also include other sorts of fees that you charge throughout the year. And by the way, I'll give all of these actual numbers towards the end of the video, but for now I just wanted to give you guys an update on how I calculate them. So I take all of my rent, and in this case, like you'll see later in the video, all of the pet fees throughout the year, and we add all those up. That gives us our gross rental income. Once we have our gross rental income, now we want to total up all of our expenses. And primarily for this property includes your mortgage for principal and interest. It includes property taxes. And lastly, it includes insurance. So stay tuned and we'll get to some actual numbers. All right, I know what you're thinking. Whose hands are those? They're Brittany's. You haven't met her yet, but you will. And she's got better handwriting, so that's the reason for that. Back to the video. Alright, so like I said, the first thing we need to do when totaling up our gross monthly income is, first of all, take all the rent that comes in on a monthly basis. So since this is a duplex, we've got Unit A and Unit B. Unit A at this place rents for $625, and Unit B, same. Now as far as the pet fees goes, each of these guys have pets. Unit A has 2, and so she pays $100. Unit B has 1, and she pays $50. This gives us a grand total of $725 for Unit A and $675 for Unit B, for a grand total of $1,400 per month for this duplex. Okay, the next thing we have to do is start totaling up the monthly expenses. Now, everything covered here are all the fixed costs on a monthly basis. The first one is the mortgage, and that is $455 per month on this property. The next one is insurance, and we pay $63 per month. And the last are property taxes, and those are $232 per month. This gives us a total expense every month of $750. From there, to get our monthly cash flow, we just subtract the monthly income from the monthly expenses. And here you can see our monthly cash flow is $650. All right, so there you have it. You have your monthly cash flow. This is the monthly cash flow I get for this property. And I know what some of you guys must be thinking, Dustin, this doesn't include anything like property management, maintenance, factoring in vacancy, capital expenses, all that good stuff. But I wanted to start with this calculation, and trust me, I'll get into those things, but I wanted to start with this calculation to show you an example of how when I was first buying this property, what I was looking at. So this is one of the first calculations I run, and one of them that I suggest that you could start doing if you're getting started in buying rental properties, is doing this here, because all of these things are known. Some of those other expenses, vacancy and all that, are variable, but these are things that are going to be there for maybe 95% of us. So again, taking the existing rents and subtracting the mortgage, the insurance, and the property taxes, and getting at a rough estimate of the monthly cash flow. So coming up right now, I'm going to get into exactly the other numbers that factor into my total profit for 2019. Here we go. So the first thing we want to do when calculating our total profit, this is the total profit we got for 2019, is take all that cash flow that we just looked at, and we're going to put it in terms of yearly cash flow. So I'm just going to times it by 12. That's $650 times 12, $7,800. So the next thing is maintenance. And for this duplex, we really didn't have a ton for 2019. We had to buy a new stove for one of the units. We had the furnaces inspected. It's very important in Wisconsin. And we also had to do a shower repair, so we paid a plumber to fix a shower. And that was it, for a total of $484. Now we have to factor in the taxes that we have to pay on this property. So in 2019, we have to pay an estimated amount of $3,696 in taxes on the rental income that we brought in. So one thing to keep in mind here, the taxes for your rental income are based on your gross monthly income. So in this case, it's not just the $7,800 in cash flow that we had throughout the year, it's the gross monthly income. And in this case, that's $1,400 times 12, and that's $16,800 per year that you have to pay taxes on. Another quick important note, just for this video's sake, is that I'm using the assumption that all of this income is on top of my existing W-2 income. And in doing so, I'm using just an estimated, kind of a conservative tax rate of 22%. Okay, so one of the last pieces of this is taking into account your tax benefit. So these are all the write-offs that a rental property can have. Things like mortgage interest, insurance, property taxes, maintenance, depreciation. All of those things combined for this property equal $11,414. So when I take that times that same tax rate that I mentioned above, 22%, that equals $2,511 in benefit. So finally we arrive at our profit for 2019, and that total is $6,131. Alright, so the last thing I promised I'd talk to you guys about are a lot of the other expenses that you hear some other investors talking about. So one of the big ones is property management. For that, Brittany and I manage this ourselves. We have the time, we have the energy, we have the passion to do this and not leave that to a third party. So for that reason, we get to save on that cost, and that's why you don't see that show up in the numbers. The other one is vacancy. We have fabulous tenants in this property, and they're great. They've been there a long time, even before I've owned the place. Another one is advertising, and to be honest, I don't know how anyone pays for this anymore. You have Craigslist, you have Facebook, you have Zillow, you have all those popular websites out there where you can advertise these things for free. And another one is capital expenses. So a lot of investors budget for capital expenses throughout the year. We do the same, but the way we do it is we fund our account ahead of time. So, and this is for all of our properties too. So We have one account already set aside. Of course, if that were to get depleted for some reason, we would refund that, but in 2019 that didn't need to happen. So that's why you don't see any money set aside for capital expenses, and that's exactly how we calculate our profit for 2019. Hey guys, I just wanted to finish up with a couple short additions to this video. I know a lot of people are probably going to ask me about what about including principal pay down? What about appreciation, factoring into your profit and your cash flow for this duplex? I fully account for those things, and I love keeping track of them in terms of my net worth, but it's not something that I consider direct cash flow for 2019, so that's why you didn't see me talk about them in this video. Now, if you're really interested, I did pay down my loan by about $1,300, and I guess if you factor in maybe a few percent in appreciation, this property might have went up $3,000 or $4,000. So for those of you interested in those numbers, that's what they probably work out to be. And lastly, before you go, I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. I hope this gave you some useful info, or at the very least something interesting to watch. I also wanted to mention that we plan to continue making these videos on this channel about all things investing, real estate, rental properties. So if you're like us, if you're a family, or even if you're an individual who's interested in passive income, financial freedom, or someone who's just interested in any of this material, please consider subscribing, because I think you'll find a lot of these videos interesting, and hopefully you can learn something too. So I look forward to it, and we'll see you all soon.